Nice to see you all, that you're still here. But on the other hand, you're paid to be here, so that's nice. Before I start the presentation, we can play a little bit of a game during my presentation. It is it dementia or not? Do you follow me? I'm probably the oldest guy here, so I will be flipping out a bit. Okay, why do we waste money on research? I was attending as a presenter at the Be Safe Day. And I had a presentation where I started to focus on two of the biggest inventions in human history. And one was vaccine and how that has transformed society. And it seems like some people were a bit surprised by my other pick. It was the trained and educated midwife. It has actually transformed the society more than most people know because it changed the demography in the country quite a lot. And in Sweden, we have a very good statistics. You can see when the introduction of midwives come in play, and you can see how the mortality rate among women and infants dropped immediately. The reaction on my presentation was quite interesting. Because I was talking about this presentation, it's quite interesting topic, so please read more about it, with a female colleague. And one of my male colleagues asked her if she felt offended by me as a male talking about midwives. So I was a bit shocked about that. So I was thinking for this presentation, if I will be cancelled, why don't go all in? So, now you stop laughing. Because I can tell you, I can prove it scientifically, close to scientifically. This is true. But of course, it is misleading. What's wrong with it? Exactly. So this is how you correctly can state it. And it's even worse when we are talking about men. And we can introduce them as well as a part of this problem. This is also valid. Because the performance of fund managers, if they are a male or a female, is very much the same. It's quite interesting. So if you look at the statistics, and most people don't seem to be aware of this, over time, you can see on the bottom chart, you can see the performance of big funds in the US during 1 year. They don't even reach 50%. Of the funds is performing the index. If you see over 10 years, 80 to 90% fails, and it gets worse. Only 5% is better than index over 20 years. And that is close to, Grante, it's close to statistical proof, because sigma is 90, 97, yeah. Okay? What impact will that have on you as individuals? You can see if you take a deep dive into private economy, if you pick an index fund with administrative fee of 0.1% compared with something that is more flashy, you can see that the impact over 30 years is that you will have 50% more money after 30 years. So, dementia or not? Why I'm talking about this? This has been proven for 50 years. You have scientific paper that is published that said that this is true. You can't outperform the market. Still, you have a big industry with big banks, and also we are pouring money from our pension funds into this kind of funds every year that is draining our pension. And still we allow it to happen. So my point being here, the fact that we do have fact and we have scientific proof is also, the conclusion is, it's easy to get off track and lose focus on what matters most. That's my message. So keep that in mind when I start the bragging. Ulf, you were a part of the mine automation program in the beginning. He's nodding. So what we have been up to the last 10 or is it 12 years now, it's quite a lot. And I can even put up more slides where the mine automation program has been a part of developing, building stuff, or doing research. It's not the same thing that we are doing all these things alone, but we have been a part of it. And I can be very proud over that as a program manager. But that said, I can also show you roadmaps that is quite impressive. I can be standing here in front of you talking about a lot of cool technology because I am the king of the nerds. So, we have a challenge. In the end of the day, it is about making money. And I think that our new CTO that is in the front row, she described how focused they have been the last, was it year, about getting all the money and saving money to save Rönnskär. And that has been their main focus. So the economy is really important. So do you think that I described the core for Boliden in one picture, that this is the correct one? It is very simple. It is about the mine, ore up, concentrator, concentrate out, and as a smelter, metal out. And of course, if these function has their own email address, of course they will also be at lowcost.com or besafe.com, because cost and also safety is important. But at the end of the day, what we really can have as a real impact on our production, it is to really be efficient and get the goods out, or we will fail deeply. That said, most of you guys that are sitting in this room, you are in a support function. Very few of you is actually working in production. That has some consequences. Because what we have been talking about today, mainly everything, is not core. I mean, I know that you are working hard with data democratization, can't even pronounce it, but it's not core business. Mine automation is not core business. Artificial intelligence, even though Rasmus is a quite cool guy, it's not core business. So the question is, why have we brought you here for a lot of money to listen to something that is not core business? Yeah. I've now talked about economy, that we need to bring in money. But most of you guys, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're thinking about is probably not how to generate shareholder value. How will our stock go at the stock exchange? Maybe with one exception. The only thing we have really in common is the haircut. It's an old joke, but it's true. So, if you then move on, we need to create some sort of common ground here, because you are probably not motivated about generating as much profit as possible for the shareholders. So why this focus on the economy? Could we all agree upon it's more fun to work for a profitable company than one that is really going down the drain? So if we establish that is true, then I can answer this question. Why do we waste money on research? Because then we can expand your toolbox. That's what this day and the research program is really about. We are not the guys that are doing the implementation out in our processes, because it is the implementation out there that is bringing in money. I, in my pilots, are only wasting the money if I fail. You see the difference? It's first when we get it into the production, we will gain money back into the company. That said, another view of the same thing, if you start to wrap up, because this is the closing remarks, so to speak. It is if you look at it from another point of view. What Momme was talking about was scary, but did he ever tell you that you were not allowed to use the drones? He didn't say that. He said, be aware. They are a spy device. Did he tell you not use QR codes? No, he said, be aware. So it's no excuse not using this cool technology, because DJI have 70% of the market right now, and these are dirt cheap. So I mean, if you want to inspect something, I mean, 3,600 Swedish krona for something that is this competent. I mean, you can buy them in packs of 10 and waste them. But be aware, don't install the software in your company phone. That's my advice. If you then move on, I think actually what you guys were talking about is really important, because what you really try to communicate it is that we have much more data at our fingertips than we really believe. We have a lot of data that is not really generating any value today. We have collected data for 10 years now that we are not really using. Maybe you have an idea how to move forward. If we then move on, when we're talking about artificial intelligence, you saw that you have a lot of important things going on at LKAB. I would say that if finally LKAB would contribute to something positive, it might happen one day. Steal it with pride. Take it and run. And if we then move on and you look at what Peter Wallin was talking about, battery-powered machines, he has actually changed the whole storytelling around electrical machines, because he deeply believes that the machines are better and that we can actually gain money by using electrical vehicles. How can you help him? You see what I am aiming for here. So to summarize, what is the point to develop new technology if no one has the intention of using it? So, you are actually the reason why we have this conference. It's not me showing off. That's fun, but that said, it's only a waste of money if you don't listen and go home and start to do some action. But I also feel a bit guilty, because when we have people from other companies, they always explain the work processes, the standard operation procedure for innovation, and they seem to have everything figured out. So I felt a bit obligated. If we in the mine automation program and artificial intelligence program and so on, we have been sitting together, working very hard, and I'm sorry to take this in the end of the day, because we have worked out a new work process for Boliden. I know that, you know that this is hard for you to take in the end of the day, but we have really put a lot of effort into this one. How will we really be successful out on the market? So this is my, my final slide to you guys. The new development model. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. I'm glad we have the same investment strategy, at least I do believe we have. All right, we have reached the ending of this conference. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you guys for being here, for listening in. Sala Kulturhus, thanks for allowing us to be here. And also all of the people who have collaborated and been speakers here today. And Tracy, you've done an amazing job. But there's one person who has done perhaps the biggest amount of work here. Henrietta, thank you so much for this, for organizing, for communicating. So with that, that's a wrap. That is Tech Talk 2026. We're going to have an after-party-ish mingle, so just head out there and continue the discussions. Thanks.